First and foremost, I'd like to give all honors, praises, thanksgivings, greetings, glories, salutations, respects to Yahweh, Bahasham, yaHaWaSHI, Bahasham Makarawak Hakudash. Yahweh. He is, He has been, He will be. Yahweh. He is existence itself. Yahweh. He exists. yaHaWaSHI. He is salvation. He is help. He is deliverance. He is succor. yaHaWaSHI. He is liberty. He is victory. Forms, types of salvation. yaHaWaSHI. He saves only the true Hebrew Israelites of the true 12 tribe, so-called dark, black, browns peoples of the world, so-called Africans Americans brought over on the West Atlantic slave trade, so-called Hispanic Latinos, so-called original Native Americans from North South America and all over the world whose original homestead is Israel, Jerusalem. yaHaWaSHI, yaHaWaSHI, through the Holy Spirit, Rakah, Rawak, Hakwadash. Double peace on the salutations of the elders of Great Millstone GMS, Elder Tahar, Iram Lab Gabar, Rakah, Rawak. Top men, leaders, past, present, future, hopefully elect, predestinated from the beginning of time for victory, salvation, liberty. Of Adonai yaHaWaSHI, whom the world ignorantly calls David, when he, Adonai yaHaWaSHI, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus, and King David break through the clouds in a so-called cloud UFO, is Israel's vehicles, and establish salvation through destruction. So, double peace, honor, salutations for good rulership and guidance of yaHaWaSHI through the Holy Spirit. Shalom to the Acumen House and Bowie's Internet Information Superhighway, pushing this truth and sincerity, following the good, great 100% truth guidance from the great man of Great Millstone of the Torah, the Bible, the verses, the scripts of the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Apocrypha in the Paleo Hebrew, the Koine Greek, English, starting with the King James Version and adding supplemental versions of the Bible and languages to study and show yourself approved like the good Berean you're pushed to be. So, and thus, World War III is now Russia, from the land of Russia, sending thermonuclear ICBM fiery indignation towards Babylon, the great mystery Babylon. America will be set on fire and every asshole in it. But not before the implementation of the temptation of the hour, our fighting chip knurling mark of the beast, which is what my video here is about. My last videos were about, and my future videos will be about, until missiles hit this piece of shit whore that sits on the beast in the book of Revelation. America is Babylon. So, and thus, as I've said, this video is about the mark of the beast, Revelation 13:16, what it is, how it's coming about, when it will come about, what it means to take it or not take it. So, and thus, specifically for this video and my last one, it was the mark on the right-hand side, which is the righteous side, which is the Hebrew Israelite side, spiritual and genetic, but mostly first and foremost spiritual. And so, and thus, our marks will be metaphorical, metaphysical, figuratively spiritual, not in the body, not something you can see readily, feel, touch, smell, but you will be able to see in the way a person acts, how they act like Adonai yaHaWaSHI, or the way the law, statute, commandments are commanded of us to act. So, and thus, the mark on the right-hand side, while 100% spiritual, is somewhat physical, carnal, because if someone has the names, the law, statutes, and commandments, knows they're Hebrew Israelite, and is trying to the best of their ability to make it onto a chariot of salvation, they will act and do and say as such as a hopeful remnant will act, say, and do. So even though the marks are inside your mind, soul, spirit, brain, or soul, That means they're in your brain where your spirit soul resides. And a brain is a physical thing, although, again, you cannot see it without someone bashing your head open. So, while the mark on the right hand side is a spiritual mark, the way you think in your spirit soul brain, mind, Salakia, in your spirit soul mind, you're going to physically show attributes by the way you act, say, do. And again, if someone were to split your brain open, they would see the wrinkles of righteousness in your brain. So, and thus, mark, trace, impression, boundary, limit, sign, landmark. Boundary, border, in the sense of boundary, pillar, post, sign, impression, trace, form, or sign. Galatians 6:17, from henceforth let no man trouble me, for I bear in my body inside, meaning you cannot see them, the marks of Adonai yaHaWaSHI. Now, as has been said by other great men of great millstone and myself a minute ago, is that while Paul, is talking mostly spiritual, that he bears in the body the marks of Adonai yaHaWaSHI in his mind, following yaHaWaSHI, no matter what happens, even if he has to go through beatings and physically violent situations, he still has his mind towards Yahweh, yaHaWaSHI, and the salvation / crown of victory thereof. But since we all know that Paul, on his journeys, encountered all kinds of assholes and even actual beasts, shipwreck, robbings, overthrows, rebellions, riots, that he actually had to, and he died, literally died by getting thrown off a cliff. So he literally has marks both outside his body and inside. I'm sure he had literal damage of his body inside his body. Can't fall off a cliff without damaging a rib or two. So, while Paul was being spiritual, he was also being literal at the same time. That's what you call metaphysical. Both spiritual and literal at the same time. That's what you call physiological. Something that has to do with the mind, brain, and the body at the same time. Physiological. Look it up. So and thus, from henceforth let no man trouble me, for I bear in my body, first and foremost, his soul, his mind, his spirit, the marks of Adonai yaHaWaSHI, and then literally, physically, scars, scratches, cuts, bruises, wounds. So, say all that to say this: on the right hand side, our mark will be in our brains, or Salakio, in our spirit, in our souls, in our minds, which is literally your brains. So while it is spiritual, starts off spiritual, in spiritual, there is a slight carnalness to it, because you have to act what you're talking, walk it like you talk it. So if you're pretending or acting or want to actually be a Hebrew Israelite, following the law, statutes, commandments to the best of one's ability, knowing the name, knowing the truth, and none of this wayward demonic doctrine, then you're going to act and say as such. But if you're going to be a fake ass, bitch ass, fugazi ass Hebrew Israelite, nigger, Americanized, Christianized one that talks shit like money is the road to salvation, you don't need yaHaWaSHI. The white man can make it. The Alfredi chip Neuralink is not the mark of the beast. You will be set on motherfucking fire. And if I hadn't said it, mark of the beast is the Neuralink or the RFID chip or any high technology inserted anywhere in your body. You will be set on motherfucking fire, regardless of who the fuck you are, race, religion, creed, gender. Take the RFID chip Neuralink, mark of the beast, and you will be set on fucking fire. No one is going to give a fuck about you because you're a devil. So, and thus, that word mark in Galatians 6:17 is stigma. 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 To stick or to prick. To mark. By incising or punching. Scar of service. So again, Galatians 6:17, Paul is talking about his first and foremost metaphysical spiritual marks in his soul spirit. for Adonai yaHaWaSHI. And then because he actually went through some shit, he's talking about his literal physical mark. So it's both at the same time. Again, metaphysical, physiological. Stigma made, Slovakia. Mark made on skin by burning with the hot iron, from Latin stigma, plural stigmata, from Greek stigma, stigmatos, mark of appointed instrument, puncture, tattoo mark brand, which is related to stizein, to mark tattoo. Figuratively meaning mark of disgrace or infamy which attaches to a person on account of evil conduct. But Paul wasn't evil. Why does the definition of stigmata say in the figurative meaning mark of disgrace or infamy which attaches to a person on the account of evil conduct? Because that's how the people wanted it to be in the English and the definition thereof. And so we can use that in talking about Galatians 6:17 and Paul and about the marks, in that everyone, most people, like towards Adonai yaHaWaSHI, whom the world really calls Jesus, was talking shit in saying that Paul and yaHaWaSHI, whom the world literally calls Jesus, were devils and demons working for Beelzebub. So they had a stigma of being devil worshippers, even though the literal devil worshippers was everybody else. That's how fucked up people are. They're wicked as fuck, and they literally, with a straight face, turn around and say that you're the wicked one. You niggers will pay for that. You wicked demonic motherfuckers who act holier than thou, and not really, because it's obvious to everyone else or to most people that you're a bunch of asshole Satanists. But other people are so goddamn stupid that they don't understand and see that, and they'll follow you even till their death. You turn around, you wicked pieces of shit, and I'm talking mostly about the circumcision, goddamn Hebrew Israelites, turning around and calling people better than you and holier than you for real, the wicked. Wicked people talking and saying that the innocent is wicked. That's the most perverted thing ever. So, just like they told Adonai yaHaWaSHI, are we right that you're a Samaritan and has the devil? That's exactly what people were giving Paul. So that's why he says stigma of Adonai yaHaWaSHI, because they were in that time and still now talking shit about yaHaWaSHI and his followers thereof, saying that they were actual demonic worshippers. When they, the apostles and yaHaWaSHI, were running around trying to save the Hebrew Israelites. The Hebrew Israelites were shitting on them. So you'll be getting shitted on back via thermonuclei CBM missiles. Psalms 37:37. Mark the perfect man and uphold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. How are you going to mark him if you don't physically touch him? If you don't physically grab a Sharpie and put, this guy's the righteous man, all over his forehead or down his arm? You can't. He'll probably punch you. So, and thus, when you mark him, you have to mark him in your brain as a memory, in your spirit as a remembrance, i.e., your brain. Mark the perfect man in your head, and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. Peace also being shalom, shalom, shalom being Solomon, Solomon being yaHaWaSHI, yaHaWaSHI being ultimate peace. King of peace, Malak Tazadakwa. Philippians 3:17, brethren, be followers together of me and mark them which walk so as ye have for us an example. Again, how are you going to mark them? You can't literally touch them or brand them or scratch them. You have to mark them in your brain, soul, spirit. And again, running out of time, so come back with more of the same. The word mark and its relation to revelation. Till then, shalom, AhDaWaN, shalom.